Hello, chat. How's it going?
Hi, chat.
We're getting set up. We're starting soon.
Yeah. I'm gonna do movie night tomorrow night.
Ooh, what is that? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna watch Velocipastor because I've been putting that one off. So come to my Twitch. Yeah. I'm gonna be posting it on the community channel for everybody to join.
Hi, everybody.
Mike, what the fuck?
I don't know what you guys do. Look, not my
Can you
fault.
pin post in other servers?
Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
I get pin messages in my Exploding Barrel server right now.
Are you admin in another server that you can try to pin a post there?
Yeah. Yeah, so I said I can. Yeah.
But I
Wait,
think
he can't pin
server,
as an admin. He can't pin a post in our server.
Yeah,
In
I have
our
some kind of
server.
restrictions on my role on our server. We
Yeah,
don't know what.
it's probably
No.
like he's just broken.
No way. Absolutely no way.
Let's see rolls. Did I give him like a?
He has the highest. The only thing you can give is like the entire server to him. Like transfer the.
Yeah, but maybe I like specifically like was just like, oh, Mike's not responsible, and I like put something on him at one point. I guess you could look at that.
No, it's impossible. There's no like, you can't like individually make somebody. You have to give them a role. You can't like individually like say this. Oh, this person can't do this.
This person's a real fucker, right?
Yeah, there's.
I liked the theory that the time Nick Turbo banned me somehow broke it. Just because I like placing the blame on
Yes,
more
it's all.
He didn't ban you. He just kicked you out of the boy channel, which is like
I
nothing.
can't remember.
Did he kick you out of the server?
Boy channel.
I don't. No. That would
I
be
made
wrong.
him left the server and rejoin, so
I
he will
didn't
like
do
be a
that.
clean slate.
Oh man. Okay.
Well, let's
didn't
not worry
know.
about it. We gotta get the show.
Yep. Let's get going. All right. Let me go to. Let me get the thing up. Hang on. It's Nintendogs,
Right, sir.
and then Stream Elements.
Your account.
Delete my account. That's a great idea. Well, wait, I figured that. I did not pin you. I forget. That sounds right to me. What's this jazzy song playing?
This is a little-known YouTuber known as Insane in the Rain Music, doing the
I know
Me channel music.
Did he come back, or is he still coming?
No, I think he's done. I think he's moving on with life.
No, it's sad.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's like you're so good at doing this thing that's impossible to monetize, or very hard to monetize.
Yeah.
Right? It's not fair.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like Patreon could work. I don't know. Let's get started. Let me hit this. Let me turn down this
tweet.
music. Let me forget to tweet. All right, that's stopped. Okay.
Wait till he gets a load of these.
All right, I'm going to tweet. So let me tweet. Right
Could you
click.
hold my cheeks for a moment?
It is nice. It is nice when we do it live. There's some new people in the chat who aren't here sometimes.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm glad
Travis
you're able to
is here.
tune in.
Oh, Force Mitch is here. Hello.
Hello.
Force Mitch was streaming like the first, I think it was the first Starfy game that never came out in America, and she beat it.
Is he made of cheese?
It's fun looking.
No, with
There's
extra
like 5
meat.
of those. I think we only got the last Starfy game in America.
Yeah, friend. Okay, you go get in bed with Mama then.
Clonoa. Get the fuck out of here with that weird shit. Degenerate.
Wait, you don't like Klonoa?
Now, I don't know. I never played Clonoa, so I don't know if I like it or I don't like it.
Actually, Dan was talking shit about Klonoa on Bombcast, and I kind of had an objection to that, but it wasn't the most objectionable thing he said during the Bombcast today. He was saying that Mischief Makers was better than Klonoa. I like Mischief Makers. It's not better than Klonoa. There's no way.
You play those 2 games, so I believe you.
Yeah, no. He even brought up Pandemonium. I forget if he was joking or not. Nice, Jeff. Aw. I like seeing Jeff's lobster-covered ass there.
Yeah, beautiful.
The
Damn,
meat
you're thick.
bass.
Damn,
Yeah.
Shouty. You thick. Thicker than an oatmeal.
I don't think those
Goddamn.
are his undies. I think those was his bathing suit. He must have been swimming today. Thank you, Sam, for that. We'll read that later once we get the show.
Double
going.
checked
Appreciate
up?
it.
A Thursday afternoon?
Thursday afternoon. What?
You know that meme?
No,
Double checked up a Thursday afternoon?
do not know that meme.
No,
And
you're
I'm
missing out.
glad. King Crab ass. King Crab ass. Man, usually guys have to tip to see Jeff's ass.
Yeah, usually you gotta pay.
Oh, Yakuza. Are the Yakuza games even on Steam? Those would be good Steam Deck games.
Yeah, they are.
I wonder if they're Steam Deck verified, because the problem it got.
They
I should
probably
have
are.
bought things during the sale. Let me see. You would think. Sometimes weird random things aren't.
They are on the Xbox.
I couldn't
maybe.
believe Final Fantasy 6 Pixel Remaster isn't verified yet.
Could have played Klonoa.
Well, yeah, they gave me a PlayStation 4 code for Klonoa, and I basically kind of responded to them begging for a Steam code, and they never responded. They ignored me, so I might have to try again tomorrow, because I want to play it on there. Where's my OnlyFans? I do only have fans. I don't even know what that
You
means.
have a free OnlyFans where you always upload sexy thing, and then you have the premium one
Why would it be? Yeah,
for the real degenerates.
is that the thing? That sounds like work. Why would you have two?
That's what people does.
That's the people. I see that you know all about it.
Oh, fuck yeah, you know. Hey, I was subscribed to Suicide Girls when I was.
Oh my god, the Suicide
19.
Girls. That was the thing. What does
That was
AJ
the
stand
shit.
for?
$5 a month, baby.
AJ stands for Armand Jr. AJ's real name is Armand. My father's name
Yeah,
is
I'm a
Armand.
big Kumar
My
here.
grandfather's name was Armando, and he was straight from Italy. So that's what. he
Straight from
is.
Italy, raw
Straight
from
from Italy.
Italy.
All right, I'm
Straight
back.
from Italy. I like your Pizza Planet shirt. I also liked your lobster.
Yeah, my
That's
lobster.
your bathing suit, right?
Yeah, it's
Were
a
you swimming
bathing.
today?
Yeah, we had the swimming pool set up and stuff. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's
People
pretty good
people are
stuff.
losing their shit over your ass.
Thank
To be
you.
fair, by people, it's mostly me.
Well, I mean, hey, you're people still.
Hey.
I still count you as people.
Do I count as people? I don't know.
Listen, I was just figured I'd give it to you. I didn't think we would. I
That
think we
spicy
linger on
bubble
it.
ass.
I really want to get Yakuza. I really want to get Yakuza 0 on my Steam Deck. That would be a good one. I get
Yeah,
yes.
it's a beauty. I love that game.
I want to play some of these old Yakuza games. Then I could play Kiwami and then Kiwami 2.
Spicy
Like that would be the
bubble.
order, right? 0, Kiwami, Kiwami 2.
Yes, 0 first. That's right.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jeff. I got my brew kettle. That's in Cleveland, Jeff. Spoiler.
Ooh.
Since it's a late night show.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get spicy, Mikey.
Oh shit! It's gonna
Spicy
get
Bubble
hammered.
Mikey.
Spicy bubble, Mikey. Let's
Straight from the
fucking
straight from the old country. Spicy bubbles, just like grandma's house in summertime. Let's go.
Yeah, it's,
go. Straight from Italy.
why is that going through the wrong thing? All right, let me fix this, and then I think we'll be ready to start.
you're-
Mikey,
so you're
the
leaving, I was
spicy bubble.
I was complaining about Dan Reichert having a bad Klonoa take. Everybody loves Klonoa. He's the one person like I've ever
Yeah,
heard be like,
yeah.
Klonoa, whatever.
You
No one
guys hear
challenged
me?
him either. Y'all just
Stop
let him
I
get
haven't
away.
played it.
That's fair. No, you should just agree with the crowd anyways.
Stop cheering
You have to
now.
understand the thing about Dan. He has like this weird superpower
Hey,
where he
You guys
he
hear
never
me?
runs out of
You guys hear that?
energy.
You guys hear? Oh, it's playing
Yeah.
out loud for you.
I heard it, but just soft, Jeff. But I heard it.
And he
Hey,
was super.
you guys hear
There you
me?
go.
Some
Okay.
of Jeff's takes or some of Dan's takes are good.
Yeah. But yeah, like most of his video game takes are pretty close to right, except
And
for
fruits.
Link's Awakening.
Well, we'll talk about some of the Zelda things once the
Okay.
show starts.
Well, let's do that. I'm going to count down. I'm going to hit record, and then I'm going to hit this button. You ready, Mike?
I am ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now. Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs.
Woof, woof, woof.
Today, we're getting another new Kirby game. Is Bayonetta 3 about to get a release date? And what Nintendo game would you speedrun? First, Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. We're doing a late night show because I actually have no idea why. You have a
It was my
secret.
mommy's birthday.
Mommy's
and We had a
birthday,
birthday
okay.
party for my mommy.
Did you make her did you finally, because she always does this for you, did you finally make her some spicy bubbles? Did you make some spicy bubbles for your mother?
Jeff, my mom is not Italian. She's Slovakian. That's the other side of my family that made the spicy bubbles. She likes them, but I didn't like. It's not so much of a thing that I had to make her spicy bubbles straight from the pot. No one has any idea what we are talking about.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't give a shit anymore.
This is the extended Game Mess universe. Something I've been talking about on my streams because I'm a psychopath. You know, Jeff, the first thing I want to talk about is all these, speaking of spicy, all these spicy Zelda takes I've been hearing about today. First, apparently, what was it? Kind of Funny was reading an IGN list.
Yes.
Was it Tim Geddes who was saying bad things about Link Between Worlds?
They all tend to agree that it's in the bottom half of the top 10. I guess I don't know if that's a super spicy take. For me, it's spicy. It's definitely in the top 5.
I think it's definitely a top 5er for me. Like, maybe a 6 if I had to really think about it, because there are like more because there's more Zelda games than I think, so like being in the top 5 alone is pretty good. Right. But
I mean, you mean through one of the best games of all time, and for me,
yes,
Link Between Worlds is indeed one of the best games of all time. So it's like, yes, it's in the top 5. Barrett was putting it at 7, and then Tim Geddes was like, they are going to put it at 8 when he was thinking about what IGN was going to do. And so then they talked about it, and they kind of went through, and I think they had it at 7 on the IGN list. And then Tim Geddes drops the bombshell and says, you know what, this is going to be like a controversial opinion, but I don't really like A Link Between Worlds. And then I fell out of my beanbag chair onto the ground, and I laid there for hours.
Bad.
Yes.
Opinion, it's fun to yell at people about Nintendo. Speaking of which, you and Dan were arguing about like the best Zelda games because you're talking about this, you and Dan Reichert, and then and neither of you even said the words Wind Waker.
I didn't want to mess up my argument about Link's Awakening with. I didn't want to throw in more games to remind him like this is another one that he thinks is better than Link's Awakening. So I was being quiet.
I like Link's Awakening not as much as you. I thought it was slightly messed up. Like he was saying, oh, the Oracle games are better. I'd be like, probably not. He said Minish Cap is better. I'm like, maybe I like Minish Cap more, but I can see. Then he said that Phantom Hourglass is better. I was like, no.
That was insane.
That is messed up.
That
is like the worst. If Triforce Heroes didn't exist, it's the worst one.
Right. I mean, it is like a baffling opinion. Like, oh, obviously this game was just doing stuff and you didn't get it. And you just didn't get it. Because what are you talking about? Phantom Hourglass. Jesus Christ. I think he said both DS games were better.
It sounds like he liked Phantom Hourglass more than Spirit Tracks. And even that seems... I mean, I don't think either of those are particularly good. No. At least Spirit Tracks is kind of fun with the whole train thing. Like, you have a choo-choo whistle or rope. That's nice.
That's always a good... That's an immediate 6 out of 10 whenever you have the choo-choo rope, yeah.
But I saw you got 3DS emulation going on your Steam Deck, and you were playing some.
I did. So the key thing there is the decryption tool. So even if you have your backup ROMs, you still have to run the decryption tool on them because Nintendo took it very seriously. There are a lot of free tools to do that. So I finally went through the hassle of decrypting my Link Between Worlds ROM and got it running. And it's like the thing with 3DS and DS. I always was like, I don't want to run them on a single screen. That seems awkward. But it's super simple with the Steam Deck. It not only is EmuDeck, let's just make it so everything's just set up so you're ready to go, and you just open up the game and it automatically knows to open up Citra and all that stuff, which is the 3DS emulator. Once I had it going, I just hit the option in Steam, the Steam OS, to be like, hey, let me set a custom control. And it's like, yeah, sure, here's one for 3DS Citra emulator created by the community, and they have all the back buttons just ready to go. So if I hit like the back top right button, it toggles between the two screens. If I hit the top right or the top left one on the back of the back paddle button again, it just cycles between various configurations of the two screens. So it's like, okay, the one top screen is just taking up the whole thing, or they're side by side, or they're top and bottom, and there's like one other one. It's like super easy. So it's like whenever I need to go to that bottom screen, I just hit that one button over here. It brings it up, and then I can just use the touch screen to select what I need to do on the DS touch screen. And it's working really well. I'm really enjoying it. Now, 3DS emulation is only okay. And what's happening is it's like building the shaders as like you're playing. So you kind of need to play through the pain a little bit at the beginning. And it's starting to run a lot better as those shaders get put into the cache. So now when it like draws on that stuff from memory, it's way faster than when it's trying to draw like create the shaders for the first time. So it was a little bit choppy to begin with. Now it's running a whole lot better as I get going.
I think it's neat that you can do it. I think most of us still have our 3DSs
I do too.
relatively like ready to go. So like, if I really wanted to play Link Between Worlds, I'd rather probably just play that on my 3DS.
Yeah, yes. I think I got to a point where I'm like, I want to just see what it looks like with slightly better resolution. So what I did is I think I've run in a double resolution, maybe triple resolution. It looks very sharp, actually. And that was Tim Getty's big complaint about the game. Is like he didn't like the art style. And I think like after playing it for a little bit longer today, I'm like less sympathetic. I think it actually looks really good. Now, obviously, it's like simplified 3D models, but they aren't ugly by any means.
I like that stuff.
I think it looks pretty good. Like Link kind of looks toyish and stuff. It's not exactly like Link's Awakening, but it's like he still looks like this little figurine, and it's nice.
It's a nice
I like
balance
it.
between like Link's Awakening and that like actual pixel style from A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Jeff, so I actually brought up our tier list that we did, some time ago for Zelda. We had 5 games in the gold tier, which was our top tier. Do you know what those 5 games were? Can you guess?
Okay, so it's going to be Breath of the Wild, 5 games. Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Wind Waker.
Yes, because of me.
Yes. Link's Awakening because of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Link to the Past.
Yeah.
And A Link Between Worlds.
That's right. Those were
okay. That's right. And so we left Ocarina of Time off there and stuff like that.
Right. We had Ocarina of Time in the silver tier below that with the original Zelda and Minish Cap, actually. Which, I mean, you both said we both like Ocarina of Time and think it's great.
Absolutely.
We just don't have a personal connection with it for whatever reason.
I mean, I think I had a personal connection at one time, and I just think I've played so many Zelda games since then that it's like, yeah, it being the first 3D Zelda was important, but it's not as important to me as all these other things that have happened in the Zelda franchise since.
All right, Jeff, that's not about Zelda. This is another Kirby week, actually. Before we get to this news, though, if you are watching live right now, thank you so much. If you send us a super chat, I think at least a couple have come in already. We will read those before the end of the show. If you are watching, also please do hit that thumbs up button. It helps more people find the show. And we appreciate that. All right, Jeff. Nintendo today announced via a tweet Kirby's Dream Buffet coming out for Switch eShop later this year. This looks like a kind of multiplayer party game where you and friends are playing multicolored Kirby's and you're sort of rolling around these obstacle courses or mini games, all taking place on decorative cakes. It definitely has a Fall Guys vibe to it. Jeff, you pointed out like a week or so ago that Nintendo had a trademark for Kirby's Gourmet Race, which was the name of like the famous mini game in Kirby. And it seems like that could have easily have been a name for this project at some point.
Right, yeah, and that was like the translation. So I wonder if that Paku, and then the Japanese words for Gourmet Race are, if maybe that's the Japanese title. I actually haven't looked since then.
I'm sure that is this, whatever that was.
Yes, exactly. And this is it. So I'm like, people are like pointing to Fall Guys a lot, and I was just about to put the trailer on again to watch. I've watched it a couple times. To me, it looks like mostly like a racing game, right? Like it's like a racing game with like collecting strawberries and obviously objectives along the way, but it seems mostly like racing.
Sure. I mean, you could say Fall Guys.
I guess Fall Guys is a racing game.
Kind of a racing game
so.
also. And there's at least some that you were more like, it seemed like you were more in an arena. So they're actually, it's surprising how few details they were, because they said this is coming out later this summer. Well, it is the summer, right? Like,
you didn't even say later this summer. They just said summer 2022. And it's like, well, that's now, friend.
Bitch, that's now. So it's weird there's no release date. We don't know if this is a priced game, if this is something coming as part of Nintendo Switch Online. So it's weird what we don't know here. We just know that it's going to be an eShop game, so it's not a physical release. But I'm super into it. I think you're like me, Jeff, in that we really like when Kirby does these weird kind of side game things. Yeah,
I mean, it's like Kirby's Dream, of course, Kirby's Dream Land. It seems like it's trying to go with that lineage here, where it's like Kirby's Dream Buffet. And now, like, to me, that's like, okay, we are going to take the things that make Kirby and just do another slight spin on it. And I gotta say, once the gameplay starts in this trailer and they just start rolling through the ice scene, it looks like so much fun. It just looks like, oh yeah, I do want to like have the physics of rolling a Kirby around. That just looks like a good time. And then Kirby gets all his power-ups that have the very specific abilities. And it's like, that is Okay, yeah, sounds like a really good time. If this is, yeah, and I guess I'm looking now. There are some mini games there where you're like bumping into each other, probably trying to see who can get the most strawberries. In a lot of these cases, is what it looks like.
Right. I'm actually not super clear if it's really that much about getting to the end first or getting the most strawberries. At least in one of the games, it mattered. It was like, who is the fattest? And like at the top of the scale was obese, and that was the goal, right? It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's getting really fat and eating like donuts, but it's made out of Play-Doh.
It looks great too. I think all these, because it's like, Dream Buffet. It is like a dessert island that you're on. Everything's made out of sweets. It looks really tempting and succulent and enticing. So I'm into what they're doing here. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, me too. I'm really into it. I hope it's sooner rather than later. I hope it's not like the first week of September and people will be like, well, technically that's... people will be like, well, that's not summer, and you'll be, it is summer, and we get into that whole thing again.
Yes, and I will do it because I'm a pedant. I'm a dirty pedant. But Mike, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely, Jeff. You can ask me anything you want.
What do you think this means for Nintendo Directs? Like,
yes, that's a good point. Here's another reveal. Just dropping in a tweet. I don't think, Jeff, I said it before, I don't think we're getting one this summer.
I was really thinking like, man, they could probably just do one in July for like some smaller stuff. Well, here's a smaller thing that would have been really exciting in a Direct, and here it is, just in a tweet, a YouTube video. Right. We're probably not getting one in July. Yeah, we will probably get one or two more tweets and YouTube video announcements in July before we'll get another Direct. So. Yeah,
and I think one of them might be, Jeff, Bayonetta 3, which according to VGC, they're reporting on this. A release date announcement could be imminent, as Bayonetta 3 is now rated on Nintendo's listings. Now, if you go to like the ESRB site, you can't find it, but on Nintendo's listing internally on their website or whatever, it has an M rating here.
Right, so which means it has been submitted to the ESRB. Like they've gone through that process, which is, for people that don't know how the process works, just a real quick primer. They have to record video of the final game and send it in to the ESRB, and the ESRB looks at the video and be like, oh, okay, yeah, we see what you mean when you say it has this and this and this, and then they just approve it. So they must have video of like the essentially what is the final portion of the game. So yeah, this is probably coming in the next few months, right?
Yeah, well, there's at least somebody on Twitter who's saying very specifically third week of September for this.
Okay, wow.
And I don't know how verifiable that is or not.
Sure.
So I'm just saying, just relaying that rumor, pure rumor. We'll see, but that kind of puts it between some of the other things that are already happening. Right, like Xenoblade is before that, and then stuff like Sparks of Hope would be after that, and Pokemon also. So September would kind of make a good amount of sense there.
We just need John Cena to come out and say he likes Bayonetta. Then Nintendo would do something about it.
Right,
then Nintendo would finally care.
We desperately do need to find out what other games John Cena likes.
Yes, we do.
If any of them are obscure, maybe he will have. Please tell me John Cena is a really big Star Tropics fan.
I hope so, for your sake, Mike. For your sake, I hope
could
so.
Be. Well, he's that age, right? Maybe he grew up with Star Tropics. He's like, yeah, this is great. We're riding a dolphin. Right? That's my John Cena impression of
him. Yeah, it sounded just like him. I'm like, oh my God, the Peacemaker is here.
Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Now, here's another thing, Jeff, that probably could have maybe been part of a Direct, but just got tweeted, is Pokemon Puzzle League is the next NSO game.
And that it's a little bit bigger deal because this is the first one outside of the batch that they announced previously, right? So they could have said, and here's the first one coming as part of a new batch in a Direct, and they just did not.
You said new batch, and I immediately thought about the Gremlins. That's funny.
New batch, yeah, sure.
Oh, my life is 80s references. Actually, that's 90s, isn't it? That's
probably 90s. Like 91, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, practically 80s. In Japan, they're getting, I think, the first 2 Custom Robo games or whatever. Jeff, I think me and you both played Custom Robo for the first time ever when we had our GameCube streaming.
Yes, we played the GameCube version of it. Is that like a Doshin the Giant situation where it's or like an Animal Crossing situation where it was like an N64 game in Japan and then it came out here as a GameCube game?
I think that might be right. Same with Animal Crossing. Maybe we didn't quite get it, but we also messed around with it for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, right. It wasn't like Mario Strikers where it immediately clicked, but whatever. We're also not judging it.
I am pretty excited about Pokemon Puzzle League, though. I liked that game a lot. I think it's low key one of the best Nintendo 64 games. Also, one of the best Game Boy Color games, and I mean Game Boy Color, Jeff, the separate platform that it is. And it's also like weird because it's one of the first. It's one of the first Pokemon spin-off games, and it was like the one that was really tied into the anime. Like it has those characters, it has that voice acting, it has like some cutscenes with it. Like none of the other games ever do. There's always a very clear separation between those two properties in the future. But this one, it's all about Misty, Brock, Ash, and Professor Oak straight from that cartoon show that was just insanely popular.
Right. This is like the one of maybe a couple games that had that. This might be the only game that really has that theming, right? The anime
it might
theme.
Be.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. Like, I know in Snap you play as Todd or something, and he became a character at some point in the show, but
right,
not even quite the same. Like this, just get straight up. Like here are pictures from the anime, and here's the person who's the voice of Ash recording lines for this. I think at some point you can even fight Mewtwo, and it might even be the voice actor from the first movie, or at least somebody who sounds like him. So, is this name really Todd Snap Holocaust? That's disgusting. I remember he came in and he replaced Brock. I was like, I don't want Brock to be replaced. What the hell is this?
You just love Brock with it, like he always has his eyes closed. There was a scene where Brock was like, I can't see anything, and he had his eyes closed, and I'm like, open your eyes, Brock.
Right. Jackass.
You piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you, Brock.
Sorry, you said Todd.
We're really letting our feelings out there. Brock can go to hell.
Yeah, we're not hiding anything. I don't care what the YouTube algorithm does to me. Brock is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he can go fuck himself. Anyways, so according to Kit Ellis, a former Nintendo employee, the OLED Switch trailer that we were talking about a lot last week, Jeff, was probably taken down simply due to music or actor licensing, not because a new product is imminent. Now, this isn't the official line. This is a former Nintendo employee, but maybe leading more credits to that. You know,
said
I've been
this,
skeptical.
And I think, I mean, I guess it makes some sense, but it feels like for like licensing, you once you put it up, it's up. And then I guess, I mean, the games get taken down and stuff. Like I suppose YouTube video would be the same way, but I mean, it's not like people are buying the YouTube video. It's like if they were going to re-upload it again, they couldn't do that unless they got a new licensing agreement. But you know, once a commercial is shot, like it's just a commercial, right? So I guess. I don't know. It just feels not. That still doesn't feel like a satisfactory answer. I feel like.
Maybe not. I mean, who knows? You know,
and a new product was announced. That points out Pixel Champion. The Splatoon OLED.
Yeah, the splooge shot.
The splooge,
the piss stain OLED.
Right.
It wasn't
exactly.
splooge. It was white might have been better. Maybe not. All right.
Maybe just no splooge at all.
Yeah, why? How about no splooge?
Splooge free Nintendo Switch for me, please.
Jeff, let us get to our community questions then. How about that?
Let's do it.
Can you stop talking about splooge for 1 second? You already tried. I think you brought it up 3 times during the bombcast. You can't be stopped sometimes.
Listen, I don't know what goes on the craps table, but I was explaining that's very important to that game. So
you know what's? I learned how to play craps when I was like 6 or 7. My one friend's father was really into it, and at his birthday parties he taught us how to play craps, which
that's fun.
Man, that is some strong like divorced dad energy right there. I loved it.
Yes, it is.
That's great.
You want to see why I'm divorced? Well, come here in this room, everybody, and let's learn to play craps.
The funny thing is, I knew how to play craps, and I forget now. I'm probably the only person in the world who had a pretty good grasp on craps at the age of like 7, and now I'm like, I don't know, roll snake eyes, right? Something like that. All right, here are the questions from our community. Benji Glasskey says, hey, you little shits. Whoa, man, is he talking about Brock? Oh, I kept calling you a little shit last week. That's right. Love seeing you all on the Power Bombcast, which made me think if Luigi ever got tired of Mario's shit and turned on him, what kind of match would they have on pay-per-view? They would have a zombie prison match.
Oh, okay. I was going to say a plumber match where they just had a bunch of plumber tools and through a monkey wrench, but your thing is way better because it was a bunch of crazy words. Yeah,
well, so if you don't know, they had a wrestler called the Great Khali, who was just this giant guy from India,
right?
And he was gonna fight Batista, and it was gonna be the Punjabi prison match, which was a bamboo cage inside of a larger bamboo cage. It was gonna be this big thing, and they made this giant thing for it, right? Like these things aren't easy for them to make.
But then Vince McMahon had another settlement, and they couldn't afford to finish it or something, right?
Well, no, they finished it, but Great Khali, who, was pretty integral to the theming of this whole thing, got injured, so it ended up being the Big Show versus Batista in it, so it made no sense anymore. I think they actually did pull it out a couple more times. They had a couple more Punjabi prison matches. Me, you, and Dan Riker should rank the Punjabi prison matches. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a good time.
That'd be a great time. I really enjoyed doing the Power Bombcast. Hope we do some more of it.
Yeah, we had a good response, so we're already talking about. We'll figure it out another time to do that. Also, I think it's probably Punjabi, not Jambi, but that's just me guessing based on the name of the place.
I am completely willing to admit I probably pronounced that wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
I admit all fault there.
Okay, fair enough.
Maybe I'm just pronouncing it too much like Jumanji.
Yeah, Punjabi is the name of the place. So yeah,
that doesn't come up too often at the Arby's socials.
Right.
Dr. Turbo says, "Hello, men of facial hair glory. Please rank Nintendo facial hairs: Mario, Luigi, Wario, Waluigi, Cranky Kong, and Ganondorf. Feel free to include any other characters I may have overlooked." Is it Ganondorf clean shaven?
Let me look up here. Images Ganondorf.
At least the Nintendo 64 one doesn't have. He has sideburns, right?
Yes. He's got the chin strap in a lot of stuff.
He does have a chin strap. I don't like the chin strap.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe he did in Wind Waker. I don't think he did in Ocarina.
Yeah.
But anyways,
he does in like at least one of these non-Wind Waker games. I don't know. Hyrule Warriors, I guess. Yeah.
You're right. He does. Well, I don't like it. We'll put him at the bottom. Well, Cranky Kong just has a lazy old man beard. Cranky can be at the very bottom.
Right, and then Ganondorf. I think then Waluigi. I think his is a little bit too crazy. I think. Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Waluigi.
a little too. Yeah, ziggy-zaggy, huh?
Yes, but I think. Well, now that we know, yes, I think Waluigi next, and then Mario, then Luigi, and at the top Wario, because his is so ziggy zaggy that he is turning into it. He's embracing it.
Yes, it's like character defined. Like, you can put that on a logo, and I'll be like, oh, it's Wario.
Exactly. Yes, you could put you would need Waluigi's face to help you understand what those lines are, but Wario. Just the mustache would be enough. I mean, the nose helps too. The nose and the mustache basically is his icon.
Doc7 says, "Hello, Beef Bulldog and Cheddar Chihuahua. Moore's Law is dead," stated in today's episode of Broken Silicon that based on his sources, he believes Nintendo will likely launch a Switch successor in the next 12 months with an SoC based on a cut-down NVIDIA Orin NX with 1024 CUDA cores, which would likely yield performance somewhat comparable to that of the Steam Deck, depending on how much RAM Nintendo puts in this system, while heavily leaning on DLSS. How much performance do you believe Nintendo needs to target for a next-gen Switch, and has the Steam Deck changed your perception on this target?
Yeah,
topic, excuse me.
So first, Silicon is Dead is a great resource for this stuff. He knows what he's talking about. I would say that if Nintendo can get within a 9 iron of the Steam Deck and then rely on DLSS to be the magic for the rest of the way, they're golden. That's fine. That's what they need. They need something that can get most of the games that can run at 720p, 60 frames per second on the Steam Deck. If they run at 720p, 45, 50 frames per second on the Switch, and then can have DLSS so they could actually get the 60. That's all they really need. Now, hopefully, in an ideal world, it would be just basically right on par with the Steam Deck. But I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much. But also, Nvidia's processors right now. It's been years since the X1, that Odin NX or whatever it is. That should be significantly more powerful than the Switch. So I'm expecting big things.
This isn't super technical, but I think it needs to be powerful enough that it runs Breath of the Wild 2 at 60 frames per second steady.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably how Nintendo's thinking about it right now. Now, it's not just what Nintendo's thinking about. Nvidia being a key partner, and they're gonna want a certain level of power to make it make sense for them and all this stuff. But Nintendo's probably thinking, what do we need for our games, and everyone else can just figure it out. So, it should be a pretty big upgrade. What do you think about the next 12 months thing, though?
That seems early-ish to me. I always said I think, because I don't think there's gonna be a Switch Pro. And if that's gonna happen, it would have to happen this fall, or otherwise we are really too late for one. We're already too late for one. If we don't get a Switch Pro by the end of this year, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, summer 2023 seems kind of early. I think we'll maybe hear about it, but I think holiday 2023 is the earliest, and even that seems slightly optimistic to me. But he has sources. I have guesses.
Well, I will say, and Tim's right, that Moore's Law, is dead or whatever. Tends to throw a lot of rumors out, and not all of them pan out. So it's not like something. This is not stuff you could take to the bank. I do think he is probably right about most of the details of the system itself. All that stuff sounds about within the realm of possible. It also lines up a lot with what was in the data hack, that where people like got in the code and started seeing some stuff, references to a new system, and a lot of that stuff lines up. I don't know if he's, because I could see it being very easy, like as he's getting this data or whatever, for some people to be like, and it could come out in the next 12 months, and for him to extrapolate from there. I wouldn't necessarily buy into the idea that this is coming in the next year, but whatever. Hey, maybe the Steam Deck lit a little bit of a fire under their ass, and maybe like they had the stuff ready to go, and now they're like, let's fast track this and get this thing out, because people are talking about how old the Switch feels way more often than they were 6 months ago.
I mean, if it is coming out within the next year, then wouldn't Breath of the Wild 2 just actually become a launch title for it?
Yes.
Like, would they really release Breath of the Wild 2 on the original Switch like 2 months before the Switch 2 comes out? Maybe. If it's like backwards compatible, but probably not. Probably not.
No, if it's in the next 12 months, then yes, that's Breath of the Wild 2 is getting lined up with that thing 100%.
Georgie Goomba says, hey, Grubby plus Mike, if you both had to pick a Nintendo character to fight to the death in your honor, who would you pick? Who would win? All right, Jeff, you pick your character first, and then I'll pick one who's stronger.
So I'm picking someone who's going to fight your character to protect my honor. That's what I'm doing.
Right,
here.
Yeah, like that Game of Thrones episode where the giant destroys Pablo Pascal's eyes, right?
Yeah, his entire skull, just squeezes it like a melon.
Squeezes it. Yeah.
Well, I don't want someone with a very squeezable melon. Then, Let me see. I'm gonna go.
I pick Kirby.
Shit. That's like the most powerful character in the universe.
Shit. I decided going first. I picked Kirby. Oh, I'm so glad I thought Kirby.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with. Trying to think of a character that just has a gun. I guess he could just swallow the bullets, right?
You want it to just be Bayonetta?
Yeah, Bayonetta.
You should be the character from Geist.
Yes, the character from Geist. Yeah, I would like. The person from Eternal Darkness that gets like the G36 or whatever. Just yeah, that person, and they're just gonna shoot Kirby and hope a bullet gets through.
Yeah. Christian points out, I said Pablo Pascal. It's definitely Pedro Pascal.
And
I can't even use my usual excuse if I don't watch anything, because I did watch The Mandalorian at least, so I should know that. So I'll win that one.
You win that one. Kirby is undefeatable, yes.
Yeah, so good for me. Turbo Man says, hey, Jeff Glaze Grubb and Mike Maple Log Minotti, you two get donut puns, because I found a game that, while it's multi-platform, Steam, PlayStation 3, and Xbox, is one of the best Switch games, and that's Freshly Frosted. It's a puzzle game about building donut conveyor belts, and it's short but clever puzzles and chill presentation makes for not only one of the most underrated games of 2022, but tailor-made to play on Switch handheld mode. What are games you two think of that, despite being multi-platform, feel like they are best or ideal for the Switch, or I guess Steam Deck? There's also a lot of indie games like that, Jeff, like Celeste. I know that was probably out and everything. I could imagine not playing that on my Switch or just something portable like that.
Yeah, so I mean, basically the question is like, what game do you associate most with like being portable, even if it's not necessarily only for handhelds?
Yeah, I mean, even like Shovel Knight's the same thing. That's out on like everything. That's
Hades. I mean,
a lot of indie stuff.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah. What was the Dead Cells? Absolutely.
Yeah. You know that. This donut game sounds like Yoshi's Cookie to me. I don't know if that's right. There was a Yoshi's Cookie sign at AEW, and all I could think about was how Yoshi's Cookie isn't even the best puzzle game with Yoshi in the title. I like the game that's just called Yoshi for the NES.
Right. Yes. People are just going as obscure as possible, right? So.
Yeah, they could do better. I guess I'd go too obscure, and then nobody would even know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. There's an art to it where yeah. Do you think Star Tropics? I think Star Tropics would play.
Star Tropics would play like Foxanadu, maybe a bit much.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yes, probably.
Beathammer says, do you two usually try to collect every star/shine/moon in the Mario games, or do you just get enough to finish the game? Been slowly trying to collect every moon in Odyssey, and it's crazy how many moons there are to collect. Jeff, in the 3D games, I usually like to collect everything. In Odyssey, right after I beat it, normally I went and got everything and had fun the whole time. Same thing with 3D World when it came to Switch. The one I don't like doing it for is actually Mario Sunshine with the shines, because there's that whole blue coin gimmick where you have to get all these blue coins, and it's very hard to keep track of which ones you have and which ones you don't, and it just gets obnoxious after a while. Like, That's one of the biggest problems with Sunshine is it's not nearly as fun to 100% as the other 3D Mario games.
Yeah, I've 100%ed Sunshine, I think at least twice, but it's, you're right, it's not as fun as the other ones.
I'm actually impressed about that, Jeff. I'll just straight up tell you. Normally I like to show you. That's mildly impressive.
Yeah, I think, especially when it first came out, I definitely 100%ed it, and then I think I did it again a few years later. I like Sunshine just fine. It's probably not going to be something I ever do again, but I think that I always get everything, and usually, like in Odyssey, I'll get as much as the game will let me get me before moving on to the next level. So, if it like ushers me to the next level before I'm finished, I'll just go ahead. But if it lets me stay in that world, I'll get as much as I possibly can. I think that was my my biggest complaint about the complaints with Odyssey is people like, it's so easy to beat. And I'm like, well, just get more moons then. Some of those moons are going to be harder than others. Like you can make this game a little bit harder on your own if you want. And I just don't get the complaint where people are like, I just got like 5 moons and moved on. I'm like, well, then just get the rest. Come on.
Yeah, for sure. I was actually on a podcast just this last week, the Super Mosher Brothers show, and we were talking about Mario Sunshine. So you can check that out. Mosher.
I was going to ask. It wrong. Super Mosher Brothers?
Super
okay.
Mosher. That's right. Mosher. They
okay.
said their name to me at some point, and I forget it. But yeah, so because they're doing actually their own kind of like book club with games thing, and they were playing Sunshine. I was actually the one who was the most down on it. I used to be the big Sunshine defender, and it was when I replayed it again when the 3D All-Stars came out that I was like, I kind of get some of the complaints against this game now, actually.
Yeah, I think I was that way, and then I watched a little bit of, I can't remember what it was called, but Dan had a bunch of people in GB East play it as part of like a game show that he created. And like there were parts where people were doing pretty good in the acapella platforming stages, and then they would just fall through the world. I'm like, wow, this is a pretty buggy Mario game.
It was rushed, and we like know that now, and it makes sense because
right.
It's there's a lot of repeated bosses. The frame rate is at 30, and it should be at 60. So
yeah, I'd say, but it's like I think they thought they can get away with that because Mario 64 was also rushed, and it's a goddamn masterpiece. Like that thing was 18 months of development or something like that, 18 solid months, and probably a few extra on each end. That's crazy for that game. There's no way that game should be as good as it is with that little time of development.
Right. Especially at some point in that development, they're like, maybe it'll be first person, right? Like, how far they went. Gruntilda's ass says, how long do you think Valve will produce the Steam Deck? Will it be long enough that one day I can walk into a store and buy it? Hoping this is not some sort of semi-limited product.
I mean, it is very, very successful, and here's why it's going to be around for a while, and they're going to keep making it. When people get a Steam Deck, like you were me, like, hey, pay me for the ticket for AEW so I could buy more Steam games. That is what they want. Yes. If people who get Steam Decks buy more games on Steam, that is the magic trick that Valve is always trying to pull off. And in the Steam Deck case, it is very, very effective. It's not going anywhere, and they are going to try to get it in stores, I think, by this holiday. I think that's why they are really amping up production, is to try to get it in Best Buy this holiday.
It's genius, because I imagine there must be some kind of a dip in Steam sales for certain games when new consoles come out, because more people are like, well, I should probably buy this multi-platform game for my PlayStation 5. I just spent, $500 on it or whatever. Well, now it's like, well, I just got the Steam Deck, and that's even newer and shinier. And now, if a game's multi-platform, maybe that's the first platform I am thinking about.
Yep, definitely.
And then Godrilza says, I'm going to find a way to make this Nintendo related. What are the odds we get another Darksiders game anytime soon? And of course, will it be on Switch? Whatever the follow-up is. I've been replaying them and realized how much I've dearly missed a good single-player adventure game like this in such a fantasy setting. Jeff, I think I have to abstain from this one, so I'm going to let you talk.
Okay, what's the question? I was having trouble following you.
What are the odds we get another Darksiders game anytime soon? And of course, will it be on Switch?
You're abstaining from this? Do you know something I don't?
I might.
Okay, I'm going to say any minute now, everybody. Watch your asses. Darksiders is taking over the Switch. Let's change the question then, Mike. The Darkness. When do we get a new The Darkness game on Switch?
My younger brother Chris liked those games.
I think they're probably fine. I think there's probably something to them.
They're fine, but even then, I was already like, this is peak Xbox 360 era. Everything is like gray and brown. I couldn't handle the color scheming on that one.
Are you gonna get us put in? I'm like trying to remember who owns the Darksiders thing. Was that THQ? So is that THQ Nordic now?
Maybe.
Are you gonna get us put in Embracer
it's
jail?
It's not that spicy. It's not as spicy as a bubble.
Okay.
I said nothing. I said I'm abstaining, and I wanted you to answer. Who knows what that
Nothing's
means?
as spicy as a bubble.
Nothing's exactly, Jeff. You get it now. Next one here is from Rumham. It just want Jeff and Mike to know I'm coming for their Cascade times on Neon White.
Fuck no, you're not. Good luck with that.
You took the top spot on Cascade. I've been spending a lot of time working on, Glassport. Jeff, it took me.
I'll get back to Glassport. Yeah.
It took. I'll just admit it now, and I'm almost afraid to say this because I don't want you to try it and get it in like 15 minutes. It took me 3 hours of attempts to beat your last Glassport time. So, if you beat it again, I think I'm going to have to start.
I don't know
about those world record strats.
I know. Yes, the world record. I'm afraid of those because I've done the world record strat that was difficult on one stage, and I had to stand up and stretch because I was like hurting myself after trying to do it for hours. So
I actually did. My arm was seizing up or something at one point when I was doing Glassport. I was like, I actually have to stop for a bit now.
Glassport's just long enough that it's like, oh, let's.
Well, I can handle it when I like the shorter levels a bit better. At least with Glassport, the hard part was in the beginning. Really,
yes, exactly.
So, like, whatever.
Right. That was why but like that one strat there on the two people that don't know Neon White. Sorry, but let's talk about it for a second.
It's on Switch. We're not playing it there, but it's on.
Yeah,
Switch.
Absolutely, it's on Switch. You should be playing it. It's great, and you could probably get better times than most people on Switch if you really try. That bomb strategy on the bridge is just far enough off that it's like I would get pretty frustrated if it took me a while to get that figured out. It is near the beginning, but it's not like immediately at the beginning. Like that slow jump at the beginning would be like, oh god damn it! I could see myself going on tilt pretty easy.
Yeah. But compared to we were doing Astros, it did suck how every time we did that, we had to kind of walk across that long beach at first for like
true.
10 seconds, right?
Yeah. Like I had to pretend like, oh, this cut across the beach is going to be even faster.
Yeah, we were like bouncing off that umbrella, like this is optimal. It's like maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. Probably not.
Bench JC says, "Hello gamers?" ? Hello gamers. What's the video game moment that had you blown away so much so maybe you jumped out of your seat? I don't know if I ever really legitimately. When I jump out of my seat, Jet, it usually is because of an accomplishment, like beating one of your times. The time I beat Mega Man 3 without dying.
Yeah.
So big things like that. The one time I was trying to beat the Final Fantasy 8 boss, and I was just about tapped out of everything, and then it was just like Irvine's regular random attack I had to do because I was actually trying to do a limit break the next turn. And he just shot her for like 900 damage, which is nothing, and that's what killed her. And she like slowly started exploding. I was like, I just shot the bitch. That's all I had to do. But like in terms of like not that kind of thing, it's always train levels. Actually, train levels are what always get me excited. I remember Gears of War 1's train level. I couldn't believe how good that looked. And then Uncharted 2's train level just a couple years later was like the new greatest thing ever to me. So I guess if you put shit on trains, I'm going to get pretty excited.
Yeah, there probably are moments that blew me away, like written into the story or, Metroid Dread, when the spoiler timing on this is up. This is the very end of the game. So if you are going to get upset about this, I'm kind of like, you should have played it by now. You should have been one of the 3 million that have probably bought that game, hopefully. Which she turns into a Metroid at the end of that game. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the why can't Metroid crawl is now an accurate question because she is Metroid. I'm like, oh, this is so, that really did blow me away. But you're right. Mostly it's accomplishments. When The Witness first came out, I played it before there were any guides. Like there was nothing on the internet. You couldn't look up anything, and yet I was able to solve all of the findable, the mission critical puzzles. Like I didn't find all the hidden puzzles, but everything you have to do to get to the end of that game, I solved every single one by myself. And then I started finding a few other hidden ones, including the ship puzzle with the three. The ship makes three noises.
Oh, I that was the one I was like the most. I tried for a bit because I liked being that ship because it was cool, and I had nothing. When you told me it was about the noises, I was like, oh my god.
Right. So I got the noises, and I'm like, I think, and like I don't have a very good like ear for tone. I'm like, I think they go like middle, up, and then down or something like that. And I actually I opened up Premiere. And I recorded it, and I looked at the WAV file and tried to see. I'm like, okay, yeah, like it's kind of going up down here. So it's like, then to solve the puzzle, if it's like going in this direction, I need to go here. And when I solved it, I like literally screamed, jumped up. I was at my window. I think my neighbor was like looking at me. It was that was intense. That was a really good moment.
Yeah, for sure. Lossian, oh no, Jumpmat says, would Nintendo release a Switch Pro only a year or so after releasing the Switch OLED? Not to mention the Splatoon version of it coming out in September. I think they would. That's not my objection to it, Jeff. My objection is just that it's been too long, and releasing a Switch Pro means that you also have to support the original Switch for like another 2 or 3 years or something ridiculous like that. That's just my issue. It just seems so much more likely at this point to just, keep supporting the original Switch as it is, and you have the Switch OLED as the higher end model now, so that's fine. And you start thinking about the Switch too.
Yeah, it's that this is why it's so hard to parse exactly what's going to happen here, because are they really going to want to support the Switch for that much longer, or is it like a slow, like a staggered phase out sort of thing? And if they do that, that's very different than what they've done in the past. How do they communicate that and make people feel good about it? I don't know. Right. It's tough.
Hey, okay, now I'm scared about saying this wrong again. Hey, Oregon Trail Boys, or is it? What are they mad? Were they mad? I said Oregon or Oregon? Which one's right?
I think it's like Oregon, like
an organ.
Basically,
like
you
a
just
piano organ.
Like it's not like Oregon. Like it's not Oregon. It's Oregon.
Oregon. Hey, Oregon Trail Boys. Hope your weekend was a good one. Questions: Jeff, Tower Syphilis Grubb, and Mike, Switch Action Matrix Minotti. I'm getting my son a Switch Lite for his 5th birthday. How do I set up so it gets my few digital games? I got him Sonic Colors Ultimate since he is a Sonic fan. What other games should I get him? As long as you there's a transfer process that honestly you'll be better off just Googling how to do that, because there's a lot of guides for that, how to do that. It's not super complicated. You'll be able to transfer ownership. I will say, before you if you want to make it your new main console, I don't know if you do. You want to set it up for family plan.
Yeah, I can let him know what to do here. So if you still have a Switch that you're going to play games on, what you should do is you should make his Switch your home Switch. So you put both accounts. He'll have his own account on there, but you'll put your account on there, and then you'll make it your home Switch. And then the Switch you normally use, you'll make that one. All your digital games will still be on there as long as you sign in with your account. You'll just have to phone home to the internet. So you need a connection either through Wi-Fi or, if you have your phone, you can always just tether through that, and that'll access it. So it'll be a little bit of a headache, but that way, when he's using his account, he can still play your digital games because it's your home console. So he doesn't have to go through any rigmarole. That's the one solution that makes sense in your case.
So, yeah, Sonic Colors Ultimate's a pretty good choice for Sonic fans. I have nephews and nieces who like that game. They like Sonic. He might like Sonic Mania also. It's hard to tell. Sometimes kids do gravitate more towards that 3D stuff. I think the new Kirby is very good. Jeff, I was at actually Best Buy, and the kid wanted he wanted Kirby in the Forgotten Land, and his mom was like, "Why don't you get this one first? Because this one's cheaper." And it was Kirby Star Allies, and it took every fiber of my being not to step in. Yeah. It would have been so obnoxious. She doesn't care. She
just wants to save some money, yeah.
She doesn't want me to be like, well, actually, that one's not as good as the new one, because it's the first 3D Kirby game that they ever made. And the last one was actually a pretty lazy effort. So, yeah, I abstained from that one. Just
but you know what just happened right there is that kid's never going to love Kirby again, because he's going to be turned off of it and be like, Kirby games aren't actually good. I'm glad I didn't make my mom buy the more expensive one that would have turned me into a Kirby fan for life.
Oh, that poor guy. The nice thing about Nintendo systems is that there's a lot of games the young kids are going to like. Just avoid, very RPG stuff. Don't get them the Fire Emblems and the Xenoblades. Maybe not even the Zeldas yet. But he'll probably like the Mario games. He'll like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, things like that.
Absolutely. Mario Kart is ideal. It's got the auto control, auto steering and stuff like that, auto acceleration, and it has the motion control, and kids love that stuff. So, yeah, there are a few obvious ones, but yeah, get those.
My one nephew likes Smash Bros. A lot. He's very impressed when I can sing the lyrics to that song from the intro movie with him.
Jesus.
Good stuff. My one niece today, for the first time this actually happened, she knows I work in video games. She's 7, and they're both actually impressed that I'm on YouTube, right? Because they're, that generation, all they want to do is be YouTube stars,
right?
That's the only thing. But she thinks I make the video games, and today she's like, I have an idea for a video game that I want us to make. And at first I try to explain that I don't, but then like 2 hours, I don't make video games, I just talk about them. Then 2 hours later, she's like, so we are going to make that video game, right? It's like, yes, absolutely, kid. Please love me. I'll learn how to code. We'll do it. We'll make a video game. Whatever you want. Please give me your affection.
Understandable.
Dugan says, hello, mini grubby dogs. Which Nintendo home console codename was the best misdirection / your favorite? As a refresher, the NES was Advanced Video System. Nintendo 64 was Project Reality, and then Ultra 64, and it had 2 good ones. GameCube was Dolphin. Wii was Revolution. Wii U was Project Cafe, and Nintendo Switch was NX. Real quick, Jeff, NX is like a pure codename. Doesn't do anything for me. Project Cafe, bad. Revolution was a cool name, and they almost held on to it for too long because people had a hard time giving that one up.
Right.
Like, it even had a logo, right, with like the GameCube disc as one O and like the Wii disc as another O.
Mm-hmm.
So people were mad. Dolphin is great. I know it was never going to be the real name, but I like that name, and I also really liked how so many of the GameCube games just so happened to feature water prominently, right? Like it worked out. Project Reality is a cool code name. Ultra 64 wasn't even so much a code name as it was supposed to be the name.
Right, and then they changed it because they're like, well, if we call it Nintendo 64, that could be the name everywhere instead of like the Ultra Famicom 64. We're just going to unify these names finally, so it became Nintendo 64.
And then Advanced Video System, I don't know, not much. Dolphin's my favorite. I don't know if any of them are really misdirections per se, but Dolphin was my favorite one, even though I still like the name GameCube better as a system name. Dolphin was a great code name.
Yeah, none of them are as good as Blue Harvest, the code name for Empire Strikes Back when they were filming it. So
I thought was Blue Harvest the code name for that or just the original Star Wars? No, you're right, huh?
I think it's because they didn't. Why would they need a code name for Star Wars?
You're right. Who would care? You're right. You're correct. Hello. Velocity Prime. Shut up, Jeff. Velocity Prime 1. Hello, dogs. Hope you had an exciting weekend. My question: which Nintendo franchise do you think would best translate to a text adventure? A text adventure. That's interesting. Star Tropics. Why not?
Yeah, there you go. Super Mario Brothers, a platforming text adventure.
I guess the actual answer would probably be Mother. Mother would probably work just fine as a text adventure, actually. You can get real kooky and weird with it. Mr. Bowler says the year is 20XX, and Nintendo's finally announced the long-awaited next entry in the F-Zero franchise. But to everyone's surprise, it's not a racing game. Which genre would you want to see this new F-Zero game beat 'em up? I would want to be beat 'em up starring all those characters.
I think we've both answered this question in different ways before. You said beat 'em up set in F-Zero, and I would say an open world crime game like GTA set in Mute City that we see in the F-Zero GX FMVs cool. Or the cinematics or whatever.
That would be good.
Our text of interest, Jeff's Kryptonite. I not necessarily, because like in text adventures, the idea is like you can type in stuff and you can come up with like crafty solutions to stuff, and that's like almost enticing because it's like the possibilities are endless. If it's like visual novels where I'm just like picking stuff as I'm going and it's just mostly static and I'm not like thinking of clever solutions.
So like our current Game Best Game Club Game of the Month, Kentucky Route Zero, which
I have not. I think I've decided.
I want you to.
You want me to try it? I'll try it. Okay, I'll
try
it.
Chapter 1. I mean, it's free on Game Pass.
Right.
You have all these freaking
I'll use Steam Deck.
Things. Anyways, just try it.
Okay.
I got through Chapter 2 the other day. And
I know people really love Kentucky Route Zero.
People really do like it. I'm enjoying it, but it is ultimately still one of those, right? And I'm somebody who's not a big Telltale guy either for similar reasons, right? So it is that. Achara Wolf said Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright still has a lot of problem solving, so.
I did like a lot of the Telltale games. Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't like them anymore.
Yeah, because once they went to that whole more dialogue tree route, I stopped caring as much about them. Next one here is Infallible BOP. Woof woof to my neon dogs. This weekend I finally watched the best documentary of all time, The King of Kong, and I was curious if you guys are team Billy Mitchell or Team Steve Weeb.
Who the fuck would be Weeby? Who the fuck would be Team Billy Mitchell? Especially these days.
Next, always have a great week. You know that I'm Steve Weeby's favorite video game, right?
No. What?
I'll find this video for you. I'm his favorite video game.
That's incredible. Did he say this?
Yeah, he said it. I'm going to find the quote for you.
Okay. All right. Yes.
Yeah, he said it. So obviously, I mean, he's Team Mike Minotti, I guess, is the actual answer to this.
Yeah,
I'm going to send this to you.
Put it in the chat of the rec room that we're in, not like a DM. There's a
rec room. What the hell is that?
The recording room, the room that we're literally talking in right now.
Yes.
There's if you show chat button. Yes. They added this recently.
There you go.
All right.
Just send it to you.
Okay. I think I have seen this before. I know. I'll get it. Hang on. Just give me a second.
You forgot.
Yes. Just give me a second, everybody. Let me.
Miro and Kip Sabian are Team Mitchell. Kip Sabian and his team. I wear a box over my head, and that's been my gimmick for over a year now.
Mike Minotti is my favorite video game.
So, okay, what happened? My friend ran into us at a convention like 15 years ago, and was like, because I knew I liked King of Kong. He's like, hey, say Mike Minotti is my favorite video gamer to show to me, and he got confused and said Mike Minotti is my favorite video game.
That's the best. They couldn't be better. It's so good.
Yeah. So obviously I'm on Team Steve Weeby.
Yeah.
And so are all of you.
Oh man, I'm gonna tweet this right now. Steve Weeby. That is a classic documentary. He is a classic hero in any story, any kind of story. It's fantastic.
How much do I identify with him? That one point where he's like trying to get the record, and his son's screaming at him to wipe his butt.
Yes,
that's like the ultimate gamer parent moment.
Legit has happened to me where I'm like trying to do like beat one of your scores or something, and I mean it's just like, come help me, what? Like she's like right over, like this happened like the other day. Like yes, absolutely. I'm like, be right there. Yep.
Pear Force One says, "Ahoy Nintendogs, please sort through these Game Boy Advance games of order of most likely to appear on the Switch. Sonic Advance Series, Mario Pinball Land, The Golden Suns, and Mother 3. I almost feel like the Sonic Advance Series might be the most, like, I don't know. Because how's Origins doing? It seems like I liked Origins a lot, and the things they changed, and some of the small bugs didn't bother me that much. Some people have kind of given it a beating over that. But Sonic Advance seems like it wouldn't be particularly hard to just put onto the Switch. Maybe... again, there's 3 of those, so you can just release it as a collection and make money.
Didn't like the big thing with Sonic Origins is they just basically made they showed the border that would have been cut off by a CRT, and they opened it up for a 16:9 screen.
Well, they
right?
remade. There's like a new engine. They remade all those games in, so that's why they just run natively in widescreen now.
Okay, I mean, so I don't know if they would want to do that for Sonic Advance. But Sonic Advance is like big problem is that the camera's too zoomed in, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like I think if they did do it, it would probably just be a cheaper collection, like emulation, like what Mega Man Zero was. Yeah, they wouldn't remake them and zoom things out, which would help because especially after the first one, those games just went very, very fast, too fast. You couldn't actually see what was coming in front of you. Mario Pinball Land, I think, is no way that it's only chances if there is a Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy Advance section and it just gets thrown in there at some point. That's like one of the as far as the Nintendo themed pinball games go, which there are many good ones. That one's pretty low.
Yeah, it's low on the tier list.
Right. I mean, give me Metroid Prime, give me the Pokemon ones, and definitely give me Kirby over that. Golden Suns, I don't know, Jeff. They don't seem very willing to touch Golden Sun. And then Mother 3, you keep thinking, why the hell not? But they haven't done it yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think Golden Suns is still more likely than Mother 3.
You think? I don't know. I think Mother 3 is actually more... I think Sonic Advance most likely, then Mother 3, Golden Suns, and Mario Pinball Land.
Yeah, I think Golden Suns. I think Golden Suns will end up... I mean, a lot of these could just be... when they do Game Boy Advance on Switch, Nintendo Switch Online stuff, I know that's what you're saying, but
then you can just show up whenever.
Right, but at that point, all bets are off. But yeah, I don't. Sonic Advance series probably is number 1 most likely.
Ted Dobro says, "Hello, Jeff." He says very enthusiastically, "Hello, Jeff." He says, "Hi, Mike." What's the worst Mario Kart track among the 3D kart games? My vote is Sherbert Land for Mario Kart 64. The Penguin Snowman combo and the ease with which one can slide off the track into the icy water below makes it a terrible experience for all. I don't like Moo Moo Farms very much, Jeff. I don't like that aesthetic. I think it's kind of bland and boring.
I disagree. I like Moo Moo Farms. I like
Moo Moo Farm.
I like Sherbert Land too, even though it is frustrating to run into the whatever the penguins, snowmans, whatever. Yeah. But I think that the Choco Land one because I think that one on N64 looked incredibly bland. Choco Land. I'm looking it up, trying to remember what the name of it is. There were some good skips on that for speedrunners, and I like watching that. But like the fog on that one really bothered me. That one, I think, was included in the first wave of new tracks for stuff, and I guess it's fine on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but it's still not one that stands out to me.
I don't think there's a lot of awful tracks, at least not that I can think of. I think Sherbert Lamb's a pretty good get.
Yes.
Hosp says, hey, yo, dogs, quick check-in to see if anyone else apart from me still uses groups, aka folders, on the Switch. Nope, never did. I know that was a newer thing, right? Did we just get groups not too long ago?
Yeah, in the last few months. Yeah. I think I did a video about it, and I don't think I've used it since then. I think in that video, I said this is probably going to be the last time I use them. So, yeah.
Number one, Red Steel 2 fan Jedi Moss Fort says there's discontent over how Nintendo has recently treated its sports games today, for complaints of bare bones content at launch to no longer caring about creating a solid single player experience. So far, none of these complaints has changed how Nintendo has designed these games. Why has Nintendo gone in this direction with their sports games? It's not like they're selling DLC with the constant updates they make for games. But one thing that's important to remember is that those like expansive, really compelling single player things, that was kind of the exception, not the rule anyways. And I understand it seems weird that we all like those ones the most. Why don't you keep doing it? Well, maybe they did just take too much time and they crunched numbers. Like, is this really worth all this time when, most people are probably just going to play the multiplayer stuff? I don't know.
Right.
Maybe people are tweeting about how they like those things, but is that really how people are consuming this content? Is that really increasing sales? Or do they really just look at it like, well, it's time to release the tennis game for this Nintendo system. Let's, do it. Let's do a good job, but let's not waste too much time on this. It is just the 20th Nintendo Mario tennis game.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, like, you got to think about who they are really thinking their audience is overall and for those games. And it's families. It's party game audiences. It is maybe dorms and stuff like that. They are make these games good party games, and in every single one of those cases, all of those games work really well if you have a lot of people in a room together. And more recently, at least maybe not Mario, maybe not the soccer game because there's some of its online issues, but even if you do take it online, you can have a pretty good time with that. Since the pandemic, they've been doing a little bit better with their online portion, but mostly they make them as couch multiplayer party games, and they don't anything that wouldn't serve that purpose gets cut. And I think it's pretty easy to tell that's what they're doing.
Major's Arms Blazer says, anyone else see the Kirby racing game and thought it was Air Ride 2? The disappointment.
For a second.
Still looks fun, though. I never really thought it was that. It always kind of looked... I immediately kind of got a Fall Guys vibe from it, to be honest. So that's kind of where it was, and it was all fine. I would like an Air Ride 2, though. That's another game I didn't play until recently when we had our GameCube-a-thon. I'm like, this game is actually very good. It's neat. It's innovative. It's just different from any other kind of racing game. I would like another one of those, but probably not.
Yeah, I get the disappointment, but I'm definitely glad they are trying something that seems a little bit different for Kirby again. That always works out pretty well when they take a chance on Kirby.
Vision49 says, hey, dogs, I replayed Dread last week, and it got me wondering, why did Nintendo let Metroid taper off in the 2010s? Was it just rough sales? I am 23 years old, so the Prime Trilogy and Game Boy Advance games landed squarely in my prime childhood gaming years. As a kid, I assumed that Metroid stood alongside Mario and Zelda as the flagship franchise for Nintendo, but it feels like time has definitely proven that wrong. Yeah, I just want to say, Jeff, I also once had that perception before I just kind of knew sales numbers. In my mind, it was like, yeah, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, those are the three pillars.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Metroid just does not sell nearly as well. Because maybe I was just too tuned into critical scores. I mean,
when Metroid Prime came out, yeah, it was huge if you were tapped into Nintendo news at all, because every Nintendo site was talking about it in glowing terms. And then EGM, the multi-platform magazine, was 10 out of 10 out of 10. And Mark McDonald was saying, oh, it's the best game from the future 5 years from now came back. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly one of the biggest things that has ever happened in gaming. And then you step back a little bit. I think pretty soon after that, I found out, oh, Metroid doesn't sell very well in Japan, and that recontextualized things for me a little bit. So I didn't, for a very long time, think Mario, Zelda, Metroid. But at a point, it really felt like, how could it not be up there with those games when Metroid Prime was coming out?
Right, and even at that time, like that was when Super Metroid was probably getting like its most flowers. That's when it was like topping IGN's list of the best 100 games ever and things
Yes,
like that. So
exactly.
Metroid seemed just like a very, very big deal. As far as why it tapered off in the 2010s, Other M was a misstep. It didn't do well critically or commercially.
And Retro was like not gonna make another one, right? Yeah.
No, yeah, Retro was working on Donkey Kong Country at this point, which was like a weird new direction for it, but like those games were good, so I guess it's fine.
I just bought Tropical Freeze during a sale. I just bought that. I haven't played it yet, but I just bought it.
And then, I mean, they made like Federation Force, which was like a bad idea, and it's so bad. But you know, who gets more of the blame there? Is it the kind of like direction of the game, or is it the series? And they probably was another even. I think the first attempt at Dread actually happened in the 2000s, but I think there was another one in the 2010s too. So they were thinking about it, but
right,
yeah. Other M's the big culprit. That's why it tapered off in that decade. And then Shoji Kodo says, "Hey there, Nintendogs. If you could only be one breed of dog and had just a single action in which the player was able to interact with you, what breed would you be, and what interaction would you have, and why? Hope you guys have a good rest of your week." I want to be one of those Saint Bernards that has the liquor bottle on his neck,
the cask of bourbon or whatever. Yeah,
that you only ever saw in Looney Tunes cartoons.
All right. Yeah.
And the only interaction would be people would try to get a drink, and I would like turn around and run away, like, mad.
I would be a German Shepherd, and someone would say sick, and then I'd go bite someone on the genitals and hurt them very, very dearly.
Jeff, let's get to our topic this week.
Please.
Which is, if you were going to speedrun a Nintendo game, which one would it be? We had games done quick just a little bit ago, which was fun, despite I don't know if you saw that controversy about the one guy who just played a video.
I saw this
Metal Gear Rising.
Oh, he just played a video. I didn't see that's what he did, but I saw
that's how he cheated, and he went on some bizarre rant about how like people shouldn't be speedrunning for top times. He's trying to make a point. I don't know. It was weird, but games are quick is fun. Speedrunning is fun. We do our small speedrun challenges like level based or what have you. I've never tried to speedrun a game and get a world record. Sometimes I like to think which one I do, but it's hard because like when you speedrun a game, you become so intimately familiar with it that it can maybe ruin that game in some ways for you. Like I wouldn't want to speedrun, even though I don't know if this counts because it's not necessarily a Nintendo game, it's just on a Nintendo platform, like Mega Man 3. That's my favorite game ever. But I really want to kind of ruin it for me by speedrunning it and knowing it so well that it becomes muscle memory just to play through it. So I don't know, giving it a bit more thought than that. Like the Mario games would be fun to speedrun, especially the 3D ones, but they're hard. They're super optimized. You almost want to do something more obscure. Although the closest I got to speedrunning one, a Nintendo game, was Metroid Dread recently. Like I wasn't, not that I was that close, but I was closer to speedrunning that than a lot of other games, right? Like I was getting like the good times you needed to unlock things. I played through it multiple times to where I was memorizing routes and things like that. Like I was no longer looking at guides every time. So I was close to that one. Maybe that, or maybe I'd, again, pick something weird and slightly more obscure, like Wario World. Maybe I'd speedrun Wario World on the GameCube, something stupid like that.
I think, I don't know, like if my purpose here is just like to get some enjoyment out of speedrunning something, it definitely would be just Super Mario Brothers. I know it's like the most optimized thing in the world, but I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I just kind of want to see if I can beat it in less than 10 minutes.
Right, like I'm not going to try to get the world record.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the 4-minute world record or whatever it is.
Like back jumping.
Yeah,
into, like,
I mean, I would love to like maybe learn how to do that stuff, sure, but that's like, it's like pixel perfect. I just kind of want to see if I can run through that. That's already kind of how I play Super Mario Brothers, is just run as fast as I can, but I don't have enough of it memorized to do it perfectly where, there's once I die, it's like I'm going to get in a loop of like, okay, I've lost my momentum, I'm probably going to die a couple more times. But I think it's like the last time I played that game and I went through and tried to beat as quickly as possible, I think it did take me like 30 minutes or something like that. I'm like, I could have a lot of fun cutting a lot of that time out. And that's a game where it's like, if I just want to go and play it casual, I just will do what I always do when I play that game casual and play every single level and don't use any of the warps. So it's like it's already kind of built for me to have both ways with that game. So yeah, Super Mario Brothers is easily my answer here.
I know how important it is for you to have it both ways.
Yeah, great, cool. Listen, why don't you just, your guy always coming everywhere, or whatever you said.
Wow. Talk about going low. Look, Jeff. Listen here, you little shit.
I saw that clip again the other day, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh my
someone
God.
posted it.
Yeah.
So someone's like, I was late, but here's my favorite moment
Yes,
from
exactly.
Nintendo.
I'm just like, oh my God. I'm still like flabbergasted. It's still
I told
incredible.
you, stop talking about Seaman, Jeff. So is your answer Super Mario Brothers then?
Yes, it is Super Mario Brothers.
Right. I'll say Metroid Dread. And then, although it'd be fun to again, Super Metroid's so super optimized, I would never worry about getting world record time.
Right,
but it'd
exactly.
be fun to learn the speedrun route on that. Soysuke says, if I only had to pick one game speedrun, it's easily Pikmin 1. I wonder what those speedruns are like. I've never watched one.
I should watch a Pikmin speedrun, yeah.
That'd be interesting. Wildfire Alex says, Metroid Other M. That way I can say I played it and never have to deal with it ever again. Okay. Velocity Prime 1 says, the first Mario Galaxy is definitely the entry I played through the most, so I'll go with that. But I think speedrunning might just make me lose my mind. There's unlike with Mario 64 and some of the other 3D games where there's a lot of skips and you can kind of do it in a short amount of time if you know these tricks. There's no super fast way to do Mario Galaxy. Even if you're playing it optimally, that's a pretty long game to speedrun.
Right, yeah.
Still.
I don't want to do a super long one. Yeah, I was like Super Mario RPG, but that would be, I think even that one's 3 hours or something like that, maybe an hour and a half.
Diego RP says Mario Odyssey's movement is so fantastic that it would sound like a perfect fit. Yeah, it just looks fun watching Mario Odyssey speedruns. And what I like almost more though is watching those and not doing the speedrun, but just I can do this here and then I can do that specific trick sometimes, and it helps and it's a lot of fun. Honestly though, I was thinking if there's a 3D Mario game I might speedrun, 3D World might be it. That would be kind of fun. Dr. Turbo says Link's Awakening. It's the game I've played end to end the most by far, but I probably still suck at it. Dugan says Star Fox 64. It is on rails, but there has to be some cool techniques to get the optimal route. Yeah, there must. I'm sure there's definitely speedruns of that. I do wonder what exactly are the things that you're doing to go as fast as possible in Star Fox 64.
Right.
One up versus CPU says none, because that would mean I'd have to play the same game for who knows how long. But I'll just say Super Mario Bros. 3 because it's my favorite 2D Mario and has really short levels I could easily memorize. All stages or any percent would both be fun since pretty much every level in that game is great. Mario 3 speedruns are very interesting. I know I watch Mitch Flower Power does that a lot, because at the very end of the speedrun, you have to walk through those 5 tiles on the world map where there's a chance that a hand's going to pull you down.
Right,
you have
yeah.
to play a level. So you just have to not only have to be great, you have to hope that you get very lucky.
Late game RNG, yeah.
Right, you don't get hit by the hands. And it also has a lot of auto-scrollers in that last world. So it sounds like the whole last tenth of that is just absolute hell.
Yes.
Revan, although that was also the first speedrun I ever saw, was that task of Mario 3 that was going around the
right. I remember that. Yeah.
In 2005 or something. Revan says StarCraft 64. Oh, he even gives us links for records for Zerg and the Protoss. So there you go. He's not just saying it to be funny this time. Doc7 says, in my opinion, the most impressive speedruns I've seen are of Ring Fit Adventure.
Oh, wow.
In an ideal world where I had the attention span to do speedruns, I also have enough cardiovascular endurance and pre-workout to speedrun Ring Fit Adventure. Now, are you speedrunning the game, or are you speedrunning first to lose 50 pounds?
Yeah. I mean, that's the same. That is the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Superhuman says Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I love the game, did everything in it. I've no doubt there would be a lot of really fun strategies to go through and intentionally slow
Is that game still on sale? I should buy that game finally.
I was just thinking, Jeff, somehow I completely missed Treasure Tracker.
I played the demo a bunch of times and really liked it.
I mean, I like those games in 3D World.
Yeah.
I think I missed it first because it was a Wii U game and I didn't care. And then when it came to Switch, it was it's a portable Wii U game. I got other things to do.
Right.
And I really should have played it.
If it's $40, I'm going to buy it right now. I'll let you know.
Turbo Sean, yeah, do it. Do it, you bitch. Do it, you coward. You won't. Turbo Sean says, I already do speedrun a Nintendo game. Super Mario 64. Nothing special. My best 16 start time is a little over 20 minutes. But if I were to pick another, it would probably be Metroid Zero Mission. Speedrunning can ruin games you love when you intentionally break them over and over. Since Metroid games are made to be speedrun, I feel like it would never get old. It hasn't even come close
That's
yet,
interesting.
as I actually try to slim down my time whenever I play it. Yeah, sounds right. We should make him show us one of his Mario 64 times. That's something that would be fun. Turbo Madden says, a boring answer, but Super Mario Brothers. He's boring like you, Jeff. I remember when playing Super Mario Bros. Deluxe on Game Boy Color, I was blown away by the fact that if you jump high enough and want to, you can run on the top of the level and find pipes that can take you to later worlds. That alone was an innovation in speedrunning for its day. I mean, I remember doing that as a kid in the NES version.
Yeah, I want to be like, oh, this person played it on Game Boy Color and discovered that. It must be a youthful person. They're probably like 30. They're probably like 29 or something.
Benji Glasskey says, Mario is missing. That'd be funny. Because you're just answering quiz questions.
Right, I'm trying to remember like even what the gameplay of that was.
Run around towns and streets, and it's like a grid-based system. I had that game, Jeff. Like, we kept trying to play it, and we somehow had fun with it
a couple times. Yeah,
but it was, it was weird. Beat Hammer says, tying in with my question this week, it's Mario Odyssey. Satisfying to always play, lots of different move combos used for platforming, and most importantly of all, the game has Pauline. Jeff, would it be funny if would people get mad, I guess, if Pauline was added as the first DLC character to Strikers instead of Daisy? Daisy has to be first, right?
I mean, the Daisy people absolutely would get mad, but there's a lot of Pauline people, I think, at this point.
There are Pauline people, but they can get in line.
Yeah, right. So yes, people would get mad.
Pearforce 1 says Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy Color. Man, that would drive me crazy, Jeff, trying to do a pinball game for a speed
Yeah,
run.
For sure.
That would take a lot of dexterity.
Oh man, it's $40. Is it? Oh, I think it's always $40, isn't it?
Probably. Probably not on sale.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's on sale. All right, keep going.
Pete Chon says, I do Banjo-Kazooie. I got 5 hours doing the 100% in the Nintendo Switch Online version when it released, so it wouldn't be so far-fetched. Yeah, it's not bad. Teak says, A Link to the Past for me. I already played at least once a year, and it doesn't get old. Plus, you can randomize your ROM for extra challenge and keep it fresh. There are games that the randomizers are very popular. I know Link to the Past has a very popular randomizer.
Yeah, I was thinking I should try some of these. The Metroid Prime randomizer has gotten popular recently. I'm like, I should try that.
Yeah, I never actually played one myself. Dill Rickles says, Donkey Kong Country Returns plus Tropical Freeze have time trials built in that are so fun to play. I already flirted with speedrunning them a little bit. Easy picks. Bench JC says The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I feel it would just be fun with all the crazy stuff you can do to get to the end. There's another game that's kind of built with speedrunning in mind in terms of like you can just go to the end right away if you want
Right,
to.
Yeah, like they built it so you could just run right there. So yeah. Like of course it's like not going to get old because there's so many different ways you could do that. Yeah, that's cool.
Jump Matt says definitely a Game Boy game since they tend to be on the shorter side. Probably a platformer like Kirby's Dream Land or Super Mario Land 2. I want Kirby's Dream Land. I imagine a lot of speedruns you just kind of flying around, flying over things. I don't know how exciting it would be. Mario Land 2, I think Darby or somebody I was watching was speedrunning that for a while, and it looked pretty fun.
I think Link's Awakening even could be pretty cool. It's pretty short for a Zelda game and stuff like that, so you could probably get through that pretty quickly.
Lossian says, I would speedrun Star Fox 64. It was one of the few games I had when I was young, and I enjoyed replaying it. Man, it's 2 for Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
Mr. Bowler says, the fastest speedrun I've ever seen is a Clue for the SNES, clocking in at 30 seconds, so I'm going to go with that. I was about to say, just immediately accuse, spam A, and pray to RNGesus. It's Colonel Mustard with a knife in the hole. That sounds incredible, actually. Just guess. Yeah. Just keep restarting until you just guess it. That's
it's a viable strategy. That's incredible.
Yeah. Tyler James Bass is bravely default. It's shocking to me that JRPG speedruns are as popular as they are, and they are because like they could be anywhere from like 1 to like 10 hours long. It's crazy, and people just do it. Good on them. Fat Lucas says WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games somehow. Oh, I'm sure there's a way. Somebody speedrun. I think they did the WarioWare Touched at the last GDQ, and it was pretty fun. Like so they've actually played like the Wii U or like the Wii. I think it was the Wii U Virtual Console version of it.
Right.
It's interesting. Donnie DeWalt says Super Metroid. Always blown away when I watch GDQs with Oats or Zosi speeding along in under 2 hours for 100%. It's crazy. Yeah, it is cool how you can not only beat Super Metroid fast, but you can get everything. You can get every missile, like a drop and everything. It's crazy. Epic Stamp World says, if I was going to speedrun a game, it would be to prove to myself I was good at video games. So it would be Ghosts and Goblins on the NES, because normal humans can't complete that game just playing normally. That would actually be a good, like the whole point of Ghosts and Goblins is that you actually do kind of just need to memorize it.
Right.
It's almost a cinematic platformer. Not quite. It's still a bit more reaction and Twitch based than that. So speedrunning that game might actually help if I was just like
it might be the optimal, like learning that game is just speedrunning it.
Yeah. Hosp says, for this, let me take you back to late 1999 when I used to go to my best friend for sleepovers and gaming. We get it into our heads of trying to complete Pokemon Red overnight, but barely getting past Misty's gym before crashing out. For many years after, I was still absolutely oblivious to speedrunning being a thing. gotta be this to avenge my 11-year-old self. I love the ambition, right?
Mhm.
That's just because you get amped up, and it's more fun like talking about it than starting it. And yeah, after you start it, like who cares anymore? You're not actually you did the thing basically. What do you guys play for another 20 straight hours? You don't know any strats. What were you thinking? 11-year-olds are stupid.
11-year-olds are stupid. That's very true.
Infallible Bob says a lot of chumps in this thread picking 2 easy games.
Oh, wow.
Except the massive chance who picked Ghosts and Goblins. So I'll nominate a speedrun of True Test of Skill and Might. I'm going to start speedrunning Pokemon Snap. Isn't that game just on rails? How can you possibly go faster? Nintendo Bro said, since Turbo Sean already mentioned Zero Mission, I like to chime in with Metroid Fusion. Fusion and Zero Mission are both excellent for speedrunning, but Fusion came first, so it deserves its dues as well. I just think that, again, I would do Dread first. I just think that the movement in that for a 2D Metro game was just so much fun. But
gotta keep in mind that Super Metroid also still has really good movement.
It does. Yeah, trust me. We're not gonna be like, it feels clunky afterwards.
Right.
Adge Guy says Kirby Canvas Curse. That way I can simultaneously learn to draw very well. That's how that works.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Pinball Jr. says definitely one of the early Pokemon games. I play them a few times a year anyway, so doing it faster would be a fun new challenge. People love the speedrun the Pokemon games. They also love doing those challenge runs.
Right.
My friend Bailey
Nuzlocke.
on Twitch is doing a bunch of those. It always looks fun. Pablo Costa says, I'm not into speedrunning. However, I'd like to try it for Metroid Dread. Being the game under a certain amount of time rewards you with some cool concept art. Of previous titles. That is why I did it at first, Jeff. Was like I wanted that Super Metroid,
of course,
art. Even though it's just a JPEG.
Yeah,
just see it
but
online.
now you can look at it whenever you want, and no one could stop you, even if your internet's not working.
Exactly. Shoji Kodo says, great time. I've always enjoyed watching speedruns of that game. Jeff, that's it for here. Our topic next week is going to be, what is your favorite boss fights in a Nintendo game? Somehow we haven't actually done this one yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I made sure I have this list. I Control F the word boss, and it didn't come up. So that is our topic next week. It can be a fun boss fight, I guess, if you want. But just boss fight of any kind, all are good. Jeff, you want to read these super chats?
I do, yeah. From Uriel Delgado, right when we put up the video to like let everyone know we were going to go live tonight, he said, "Hi, Jeff, Gru, Ugg, and Mike Minion, Adi."
Yeah. Oh my God, that works too well. That's disgusting.
Yep.
That's terrible news.
Yes, that's terrible news. Yep. So, and unfortunately, I'm Gru and you're a minion. So there we go. Now we have to deal with that. From Steven Sullivan, is there still room and time to announce a Zelda game this year before Breath of the Wild 2? Also, why does Mike hate on Pikmin? JK, but for real, Pikmin 4 is coming. I feel it in my bones. Love the podcast, guys. He just has never really tried it much, right?
No, yeah, it's actually not insecurities, maybe too hard. But, like, I didn't get into Pikmin 1. I played, like, a little bit of Pikmin 3 at one point back when it was on Wii U and didn't get into it. So I feel like I'm missing out, and I probably do just need to actually really give Pikmin 3 on the Switch a go.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe is
like it.
Ideal, and I think you will like it. It's It's got a really good loop that they tightened up and made a lot of fun. I kind of always have the urge to replay it, which even as someone who's liked the Pikmin games in the past, that wasn't true. With Pikmin 3 Deluxe, it is. It really is like it's just that good of a game.
Jeff, is there a point where the end of July, the end of August, where they don't announce the Wind Waker Twilight Princess thing, where we're just like, I guess that's actually not happening this year?
Yeah, I think if we get to like, if we get through, I think September still is like a chance for a direct, right? So I'm still
September, we might get a direct. That's honestly almost the earliest I'm expecting it anymore.
Right. So
maybe late August.
So I think if we don't hear anything about it that direct, obviously it's not happening. I guess maybe not. Obviously, they could have just announced anything whenever they want. But that's one, like, we've heard about Metroid Prime. We've not exactly heard, like, I've heard in the past they have this stuff ready to go, but I haven't heard anything about it this year, like being like, oh, that's coming out this year. It just makes sense because they want to have a Zelda thing every year. They've moved Breath of the Wild 2 out of this year. Therefore, like, it just makes sense on that circumstantial level. But yeah, we just don't know. It's Nintendo. Let's see. Joe Jowity Gorp. Sorry, if I got your name wrong. They renewed their membership. Thank you so much. They hit the join button here on the channel, which gets you access to the Discord, secret channels, and all that stuff, and our monthly Q&A and our Jeopardy game and stuff like that. Hired Sword renewed theirs as well. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate that.
I saw that my brother Chris actually joined.
Yes, he renewed his. He's got a 1 month streak, 1 month streak going. So thank you so much, Christopher Minotti. Sam Young said, first show I've been able to make live since the time change. So had to chip in. Glad to be with the BNC boys tonight. Thank you so much, Sam. Yeah, with the time change, and I think with the name change on Game Master Decides, like we lost a little bit of momentum. So, and I think it's just like people will come, like realize it eventually and come back to the show. But we like it's nice when people are like, hey, we can come watch live for the first time in a while. So
meanwhile, Nintendogs has been growing. Actually, it's been doing
actually yes,
well.
That's true. Yes. Daniel Bradley, where the F is my Pixel remasters? Yeah,
I don't know. Like why? I don't know. It's weird. It's like how much longer are we gonna have to wait? It's crazy that we got the Persona is done with. That's happening. We're good there.
Right. Persona's happening and the Pixel remaster still aren't. And that mini direct was a partner showcase and it didn't even show up there. It's bizarre. I will
say, Jeff, there's no way I would actually get those on Switch. I get those on Steam Deck because I need to mod them.
Yep. And you can mod them, and you just go into Linux and you just put the files there. It works so easy. You don't have to hook it up to a computer or anything. It's a good system. From Nintenderic, do you think there's any truth to the rumors of an upcoming Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer in the next few days? It feels reasonable. Yeah. Why not?
But don't they usually just say, hey, look, we're doing a direct? Although they usually announce things that they have a Pokemon direct.
Yeah.
Don't they have that TV show, too, where they sometimes show these things off?
I don't know.
I thought there was something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, but still, sure. It could come out randomly. Then, hey, we got to start ramping up a bit more to that. We still only know so much about it. We need to see more about the husbando and waifu professors.
From the Uncharted Wolf, what PlayStation first-party game would you want on Switch? The Jack, Ratchet, and Sly games feel perfect for it. I want to try the Sly Cooper games. I'm gonna just get those on the Steam Deck and make that happen. Or maybe I might make content on it because I should just play through all the Sly games on Giant Bomb or something like that.
It'd be really cool if they would actually, release the PlayStation 2 like Sly, Jack, and Ratchet games on Switch, or even the PlayStation 3 Ratchet games. I want Jeff to try Cracking Time pretty badly because that was my favorite.
Right, I should. Yes, I should play some of the other Ratchet games because I really love Drift Apart, and I haven't played many Ratchet games before. I don't know if I've really played any before that, and I love Rift in Time. So. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like Sony first party games I would care about beyond those. I don't know.
I think that's the right answer. Jumping Flash 2. Port that to Switch now.
From Special Nick. Hi guys, love you. Love you too, Nick.
Love you too, Special.
Yeah, I was gonna try to be on his podcast this weekend, but I'm hanging out with Mike instead. So,
I know.
Yeah,
I've been having that too. I've been having to turn down most podcasts.
Yeah.
Because it's been busy. Being managing editor now.
And right, you got responsibilities.
Yes, I have more, which mostly means more meetings, but
right.
Yeah, it's busier. Not that I'm complaining. It's fun.
Xbox will always be number 3.
What'd he say? I don't even know yet.
Where is GoldenEye? 1 versus 100. L after L for faker Jeff Grubb and his Xbox coping. Cry laughing emoji, cry laughing emoji, cry laughing emoji, cry laughing emoji. Time to talk to Daddy Phil. Hand covering mouth koi emoji, koi emoji, koi emoji.
I love how many repeated emojis there are, considering that it means he has to pay more money to write these things, right? He keeps saying the same things. You said the project lead for 1 versus 1 has left. Do you think that means that project's a true?
I don't know. I honestly have no answer one way or the other on that. I bet they are gonna be fine. Like the Xbox team, took a lot of interest in the 1 versus 100 project because it wasn't under Xbox. It's under a Microsoft team outside of Xbox. But they've taken it under their wing to make sure it happens. So I would assume it's probably still going to happen, but who knows when. I was always speculating that we would see it at E3. That was kind of more hopeful than anything else. GoldenEye.
It's every time. You said this 10 times. It's the Ukraine war.
It's the war. It's the Russian content in that game, and it's not like I think Advance Wars could come out because Nintendo might be well, it's okay, but this is Nintendo and Microsoft working together. And neither company is going to want to take a chance with the other company's reputation. So they're just going to wait until it's obviously past all this stuff at this point. I don't know. It could come out at any moment. It could come out a long time from now. But the reason they've held off to this point, And to me, and based on the stuff I've heard, it seems like it's just the war. So, and that's going to keep being the case. Mike, I think that's... Oh, wait, let me scroll up here. No, we got one more. From Tenet OVB. Love you guys. Random question. What game engines do Nintendo use? Are they the same across genres in, say, Mario games like Odyssey and Strikers? No, I mean, they have various tools. Obviously, I think that like Strikers and Luigi's Mansion 3 likely have many of the same tools because that's the same studio. Nintendo probably shares a lot of its tools across developers, but then a lot of games use, like, not a lot, but recently they've been using Unreal on a few projects. There was a Yoshi game that used Unreal, right? And I think didn't Link's Awakening use Unreal? Maybe not.
Sure, you know better than I do.
I think I'm just trying to like pull from memory. But they use a variety of different tools, and they probably share a lot of tools across all their teams and stuff like that. But yeah, the Odyssey games and the Striker games, just as that example, it's probably not the exact same thing. It's probably, we have a really good animation tool set that we use at what's the Strikers developer name?
Next Level.
Next Level, and like, hey, we're really good at using that. We're just going to keep using that. So it's a little bit more bespoke than what you're thinking.
Well, that's it then.
Mike, is that it?
We did.
We've done a podcast.
Yeah, well, I've been just playing a little Comic Zone for fun. I have really been messing around with my Steam Deck a lot this week. Although I haven't been doing too much of the emulation stuff, Jeff. I've actually been mostly trying those Steam Deck verified
You could always get around to doing the emulation stuff, but like you have a lot of ways of playing old games, right? So having modern Steam games in your hand is the most novel thing about the Steam Deck, and is the thing that makes it worth the money in reality. Because like,
absolutely,
I've got a whole bunch of ways of playing. Like I got the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus and all that stuff. So yeah, I think Steam Deck continues to be impressive. I wanted to talk about Live Alive, Mike. I played through the Japanese thing, the Japanese segment or whatever it is, the scenario of the demo portion of it. Anyhow, I'll say that game and the HD 2D graphic style and the OLED were made for each other. It just pops so well on the OLED screen. It looks so cool. I like the way it looks enough that I'm like, and there's enough variety in sort of what you're doing. It's not just like you go in and it's just randomized battles or stuff like that. You are going up to the characters and you're choosing to get into a battle, and then it's kind of a little bit of a tactical gameplay in terms of the combat, and that stuff works for me. But then it's like, you need to like memorize the code that you need to say to people to get out of certain situations, and it changes every once in a while, and the character will stop and be like, the code is this now, but you need to remember that and stuff like that. So there's like enough other stuff going on that I'm kind of into it. I think I'm going to give this game a real shot when it comes out. I think I like Live Alive. The big part of it is it just looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't tried the demo part, even though I know you can carry over progress. Part of me is like, no, I just want this. I'll wait for the game to be out, and then I'll play it. Another part is I am trying to, I'm still kind of in a honeymoon period with my Steam Deck, right?
Of course, yeah.
I'm messing around with that right now.
I mean, the other Nintendo game I'm playing right now is A Link Between Worlds on my Steam Deck, so yeah.
I kind of hope you try out the Dragon Quest III remake when it gets the HD 2D, because that is such a very good and mostly mechanic-driven classic JRPG that I played the bad-looking Switch version that you can get right now, which is based off like a phone port, and it doesn't look very good. And I still had a very good time with that game. I
like Dragon Quest IX a lot on DS, and I know that the lineage is pretty true throughout.
9 is honestly probably the one that's the most like 3.
Oh, that's
it's very
fantastic
similar
to hear.
in that you start off as like a character, and then like you almost immediately just go into an inn. It just like pick party members from a tavern, and they're not really characters. There's a story, but it's not super story driven. It's like I said, it's very mechanics based. It's very good. So if you
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. That sounds
like 3.
And I legit just love the H2D look.
Me too.
Again, especially on the OLED. Maybe it's like in trailers, I can be like, maybe I'm over this in some ways. No, once I'm playing it and it's just like sparkling on this screen, I just like, oh yeah, I want to play more of this for sure. All right, Mike.
All right, Jeff. That does it. So next week, what is your favorite Nintendo boss fight? It could be a final boss fight or whatever, first boss fight, middle boss fight, whatever. Just which one is your favorite? And that will be fun stuff. Jeff, where can people find you?
Yeah, find me on Giant Bomb. Come hang out. We're gonna probably find out a game to stream tomorrow. I need to like actually do some research tonight and see if we can make it happen. I'll have Game Mess mornings going as well, of course.
Who's your guest tomorrow?
Actually, it should be Lucy. It's Lucy on the schedule, so yeah.
That sounds like a sitcom. Should be Lucy.
Should be Lucy. And I'll play Sly too, Nick, eventually. How about you, Mike?
Find me on gamesbeat.com, and I will be back with Jeff on Thursday for the Game Mess Decides. I'm on Twitch and Twitter as Tokoto, T-O-L-K-O-T-O, 90s Disney, 90sdisney.com, my 90s Disney podcast.
What's the next 90s in it? Never mind. Bye, everybody.
I forget!
I knew he was going to have that.
Good.
Mike Benani is my favorite video game.